Hey, good day, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Business Talk with your host, Shane Bichner, founder and entrepreneur at the Business Media, where we specialize and focus in small to medium sized businesses with achieving and growing their brand awareness, attracting new customers, as well as increasing their sales and profits using social media and digital marketing. And today's episode, we would like to discuss the question and topic around what exactly is e-commerce. I think over the past few weeks and months, as globally we've all been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a big shift and change in both the way businesses is conducted as well as the ways in which consumers actually engage and interact as well as purchase from these businesses. So it's very important to yet again understand your market, understand your business model, as well as understand your target audience and ideal customers. And that brings us to the question and introduction of what we're going to cover in the course of the next couple of weeks. Will be focused around e-commerce as a whole. Should your business transition into e-commerce? And we'll also be addressing and answering many questions that you might have around e-commerce and e-commerce business development. So in today's episode, we would like to start with an introduction around the definition of what exactly is e-commerce. So the e-commerce term is electronic commerce for the longer length, which involves any transaction that occurs between two parties, whether that be the sale of a product as well as a service that is offered through the internet and involves that transaction being fulfilled through the use of an internet source and platform. And that really brings us to the definition that, again, defines in a very simple form that e-commerce is a transaction which occurs between two parties that involves the sale of a product as well as the sale of a service, again, using the internet. There are various models around e-commerce, and we'll just briefly just touch on those in terms of what exactly they are. So the first form of e-commerce is the business to consumer or DTC business model, where that is any sale of product or service that occurs during using the internet that is involved directly between a business as well as a consumer. So that is you as an entrepreneur or business owner that sells your product or service directly to consumers using a e-commerce platform and channel. The next form of e-commerce would be a business to business e-commerce platform. That is whereby a business sells its product or service to another business, which is also the customer or client of that business. So that is very much a business to business a model. The next model is a customer to customer or a C2C model, whereby a customer sells a product or a service to another customer using an e-commerce platform. These platforms could be anything from Amazon, eBay, as well as Gumtree or OLX for that matter. So that doesn't involve any businesses, but it does involve an individual customer that sells between themselves as well as another customer who's purchased their product or service. Moving on to one of the newest forms of e-commerce, which is the forms of a marketplace. And that is whereby you as a business or entrepreneur or as well as a customer sells your products and services through the use of a third-party platform. Those platforms could be anything, again, such as the likes of Takealot, Amazon, as well as eBay, whereby the third-party service provider ensures and oversees the transaction of the product and service, as well as is very much focused on bringing in new customers, building traffic to the marketplace, as well as ensuring that customer service, dispatchment, as well as payment occurs through their platform as well as their e-commerce channel. And then just briefly touching on what are the benefits around having an e-commerce platform. The capital outlay and investment required in e-commerce has become very affordable compared to the traditional businesses that were built in the past. In the past, you needed to have a big cash investment, whether that's investing in retail space, investing in warehousing, as well as investing in a business location for you to be able to service and attract your customers. But in today's, with the use of e-commerce, you are able to service many customers through affordable platforms, which we'll discuss later in this video. Going on to the next benefit is that e-commerce doesn't limit you in the sense of which area or location you will service. In the form of e-commerce, you're able to attract customers and service customers across different countries, different regions, as far as different continents. You're able to offer your product and service over and above just your direct location that you are currently based in. So if you're based, in my example in South Africa, I'm able to sell my product and service to a global market, whether that is customers in America, customers in Europe, as well as customers in the East and other countries and continents around the world, allowing me to be able to service and not be limited to any locations for that matter. Another very big benefit around e-commerce is that e-commerce allows you to transact to your customers 24/7, 365 days throughout the year. As it's an online and always on retail store or retail space, it allows you to transact to your customers at any time of the day as well as any day of the week. As we know, traditionally, stores used to have trading hours, which meant that they opened and closed at a certain time, as well as only open a certain days of the week. But with e-commerce, you are allowed to trade as well as transact at any given time, as well as any given day. And then I think just moving on to the next section is that I think there's been a big overwhelm in terms of which platform should I start my e-commerce journey on. I think one of the biggest platforms and most affordable as well as accessible platform is Shopify, which is a Canadian-based platform which helps small businesses open up their own e-commerce stores and allowing them to trade through an online and internet space. That's very affordable, but we'll discuss the pros and cons and compare different platforms in the series of videos to follow. The next platform is a WooCommerce platform, which is very much built on the success of the WordPress platform, which allows you as a business owner and entrepreneur to be able to start transacting using the WooCommerce platform, allowing you to host your products and services on their platform, as well as your customers to be able to transact with you as well. Then I think more for enterprise and big corporations and corporate platform is the use of Magento, which just from a experience point of view, it requires a lot of development and technical coding expertise, not as simple as the previously mentioned platforms such as Shopify and WooCommerce, and does require a big budget, but allows you to scale and as well as launch a very big online store that is able to service lots of products, a lot of services for a greater market, and able to handle a much bigger form of traffic and customers as well. And then I think just lastly, just covering up on this video is again just to understand what models that there are in around selling your product through an e-commerce platform. So the first one is where you sell your own product, as we mentioned, whether that is direct to consumer, whether that is in the form of business to business, but essentially you own the product. You as well, you are the manufacturer or supplier of that product. The next form is a service where you sell and render a service that you provide and that you fulfill for customers as well as consumers. And lastly, the very popular one that has been making a lot of waves around the world lately is the form of selling a third party's product or service. So that means that you don't physically own the product, or neither do you physically provide the service, but essentially what you are is that you are a drop shipper. So drop shipping is selling a product or service that doesn't belong to you, but you are able to get supply with that's from a supplier, and you are able to sell that product to consumers through the use of an e-commerce platform. So just wrapping up on this video is that, again, so in the course on the next couple of weeks, we will focus very much on e-commerce and how e-commerce will benefit and will be a very big factor of success, as well as a way for your business to innovate and adapt in these very uncertain times, but also, preparing for the new normal. As we know that globally, both businesses, the way they transact, as well as the way consumers interact and engage with businesses, has really changed. And you, as an entrepreneur and business owner, should also think of ways in which you can actually implement these tools and advice that's been offered from the business talk to actually implement this, for your business. And if you'd like to find out more, you could feel free to book or schedule a call with myself, where I'll be able to guide you and assist you in how do you go about implementing an e-commerce strategy for your business. And if you'd like to follow us, you can, hit subscribe below. Please help us in sharing this video to, get it across to people that actually might need and might find use and value in what we have to share and what we have to offer, from our content. But most importantly is that we want to actually help you to actually connect your brand and businesses to customers, grow your brand awareness, and essentially improve and increase your sales and revenue and profits for your business. And that is all from us today. Thanks again for tuning in. I would like to hear your comments and feedbacks below. Again, so feel free to contact us, and we would like to hear your response and what would you like to hear within the next video. Lastly, if you have any questions, please leave it down below, and I'll be happy to address it from our side. But thanks very much for tuning in again, and keep well. Bye bye.